How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish. And yes, it's rainy outside and it's cold. But guess what? The coffee's hot, the vise is hot. Today we're going to tie an X Caddis. So grab your vise, grab your tools, let's have some fun. As we start our little X Caddis fly here today, let's talk about this hook. So today we are using from Ahrex the FW531, which is the barbless version of the 530, and it is a sedge and or caddis hook. And this one's big, it's fairly big, size 10. Why? Because where we live, we really don't fish a lot of small bugs, I'll just be honest. And it's a lot easier, I believe, to track this on camera for those watching at home if it's just a little bit bigger than maybe normal. So 6/0 thread, black, brown would be great, tan would be great, olive would be great, whatever you have handy. Just gonna leave myself a little indicator there with my thread as far as where we want this fly to begin. So the X Caddis, as most of you are at least somewhat familiar with it, one of those, I don't want to say controversial, but there's a small amount of drama, whatever drama there can be in the fly world, of who exactly came up with this pattern. Was it Craig Matthews? Was it Matthews and Jurasek? Was it Craig Matthews' wife? Like, I don't know. I just know that it works, and it has worked in many, many locations. So back in Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico. This was a favorite pattern. You always wanted to have a few of these in the box, especially in the springtime, because, and this is the important part, we're looking to emulate an emerging caddis. And so that brings us to our first tie-in here. We're going to tie in a shuck. And the shuck is that exoskeleton case that the nymph or larva will live in. And then as it pupates and becomes pupa, that case expands, and then of course has to shed that case, get its wings out and everything else as it's going to the surface. And so that case is just stuck here in the back. It's cast off at the end, but that shuck indicates that that bug is pretty fresh. It is trying to get to the surface, get out of the water, all that good stuff. And the fish know that bug is a little bit vulnerable. And so, if you're fishing over picky fish and all that, sometimes you need this little extra trigger, if you will. Let me just trim out those excess fibers. And that's what this is going to do. So this is simply some strung fuzzy fiber in golden brown. You can use anything that's got a little shine or a little shimmer to it. So, here's some SF blend. Even though it's the wrong color, it would definitely work, because it's just going to pick up the glints of light like the empty case of that caddis would. Pretty cool, very, very effective. Just going to give it roughly one hook length of a cut there. And as you can see, you can trim that up a little, make sure it's not super even anywhere, all that good stuff. And that right there is deadly. So there you have it. For the rest of this, is simply a very common, normal caddis, except we want to keep one thing in mind. This is an emerger. And so we're not going to have we're not going to put the hackle in this body. We're going to do a pretty heavily dubbed body though. And we want that dubbing to grab just a little moisture. It's going to pull that fly into the surface. It won't sit on top of the surface. So if we take hackle through that body, it's going to prop it up a little bit and it looks like an adult. We want this to sit in the film. So we're just going to dub this back and then dub forward again. We want a pretty juicy body here, very substantial body. I've got some super fine dry fly dubbing. I've mixed Adam's gray with a little bit of olive. And I did this in my fingers. I'll just take a chunk, pull it, put it on top, keep doing that, repeat until you get a little blend of gray and olive. At least that's what I'm going for today. And we're looking springtime, right? We're not gonna look to match every little hatch on this. When we're fishing to sea run cutthroat as compared to like a rainbow trout, brown trout, they're a different species. They want to attack things a different way. And so we fish different colors, different size bugs. It's more about how you fish it versus what you fish sometimes, all that good stuff. So again, when I'm tying these flies, I'm tying typically something to put in my own fly box. So again, at home, you know, maybe in the springtime, you want to keep these caddis a little bit smaller, maybe 14s, 16s even, you know, that range. Again, we don't need to worry about small bug presentation out here so much. So I'll tie it in a size that's substantial. I don't want to catch a lot of the little dinks when we're out there. Just going to target some medium to large size trout. So all that to say, I'm tying this from my own box, and so if you're going, man, that's not what I would tie, you might be right, but this is definitely what I would tie. So got a nice amount of a dubbing noodle made up here. Just going to keep it tight as we go. And again, if you can get by with, you know, on a certain bug of not the most minimalist amount of dubbing and all that, you want a real body. Well, I think tying caddis flies is right up your alley. And there we go. So that's a pretty big dubbed body, at least for me. That's just about right. Going to get a few extra wraps here of just clean thread, give myself a nice space here. So now we're going to tie in that wing, which also will become the head of our fly. And so let me just reposition this ever so slightly. Got a little downs. There we go. So pretty simple fly. Actually very simple fly, but so important. And if there's a fly I think you could tie for a lifetime and never get bored and always still improve somewhere, it's this X Caddis of any sort. So all of its variants, all of them are fun. And so let's just get a quick measure here. We want that wing to sit just past the body like so. And of course, yes, if your inclination is to pre-cut your hair, by all means, now would be the time to look at the front of that hook eye, and that's where you would cut, not behind the hook eye here in the front. But we're going to just tie this in and then trim afterward. Again, everybody's got their own thing. You do you. Whatever makes you the happiest. Ties your version of the best version of that fly for you. Just going to set right like so on my tying hand. Switch to my off hand. This grip now becomes everything. That pinch, we don't want it to move. So we're going to take this up, get one wrap over, pull straight down. So, oh, there we go. There's that thread. Now at this point, we're not going to leave that wing on there. We're going to pop that thread out. Let's fix this very quickly. And yeah, I know at this point, I should probably just stop this video, right? But this is the real deal. This is what happens. This is what happens at home. So let's just deal with it. Fix it right up. Nothing to it. Only thing we're going to have to do at this point, probably get a fresh stack of hair. All right, no problem. Let's talk about the hair. Bleached elk hair. You'll see a lot of X Caddis tied with deer hair. And, you know, to me, elk hair is going to float the best. That's my opinion. If you put a substantial wing of deer hair, yep, it will float. It might not float as long, might not float as high, but it definitely will float. So if you're looking at this as I want it to match a little better, and the caddis in my area are just slightly darker in the spring, right? Closer to a gray tone or whatever it might be. By all means, there's a lot of deer hair out there, natural colors like whitetail or mule deer, that would give you those, you know, slightly darker colors. Forgive my tapping here. I'm just going to stack that hair a little bit. But you don't have to use elk. I love elk hair, especially for this a caddis fly. So that's why I use it. Again, measure that to just beyond the body there. Get a good grip. Let's see if we can do this without breaking thread. There's one, two. We'll get a few good wraps here on pulling straight down. And then when we release this, it should stay on top. We're not going to have a lot of creep factor, meaning that hair's not going to get to the side a bunch. We're just going to keep it right here where it wants to be. That's it. A nice tight thread neck. pull it straight down. You can use your fingers here as a little guide, just one on both sides, pull straight down. Now that hair cannot creep to either side. It's just going to pull straight and flare that hair up. That is what we want. There's the shape we're looking for. So let's go ahead now and get our thread in front of all this beautiful hair. We're just going to build a little thread dam. And at this point, we've got enough space up here in the front. If you wanted to, you could definitely get a little dubbing in there, but I don't want a super big underhead. I just want that to prop up the head, if you will. And so now at this point, come in with your bodkin and get all those fibers that are the butts of the hairs facing forward again. And this is the advantage to a pre-cut, but we'll show it to you this way as well. So there you go. There's all those hairs. And now just bring those down a little bit. Make sure that wing is staying where it's supposed to, and get your thread back into that neck section. Nothing to it. One hair trying to creep on my side. How's your side? There's one stray. Can I live with it? Yep. Just going to snug it up there. So we've got one active fiber that's snuck forward, and that's it. Not too shabby. And at this point, yep, we can go ahead and pre-cut that head a little if we want. And my preferred cut for a caddis shaped head is just come in here, follow the eye, and give it an angled cut this way. I don't like this move. It just gives a weird shape. This gives it that classic, very noticeable, very distinguishable head shape that the caddis has. We do want that. At this point, everybody's favorite thing in the world, we're just going to whip finish, and we're ready to put this in the box. Again, you can tie this in so many different colors, be it the body or the wing. You can change this fly and make it exactly what you want. I have a lot of hair on here. For a normal caddis, this is a lot of hair. But again, we are tying the emerger, and so we want it to sit in the film, in the surface of the water, and that, if you want it to float a little better, if ever you can get by with a little bit extra hair on a caddis, this is it. Otherwise, you don't want to bulk up that body too much, or excuse me, the wing too much, because you want the light to penetrate through the hairs like it would on the natural. But this, for me, is just about right. That's going to sit the way I want it. And now we'll just cover those thread wraps with a little head cement, and this thing is virtually bulletproof. All the materials will get chewed out and all that eventually, but we won't lose this fly on the first fish or two. It's going to last a while, and that comes in from tying a lot of caddis wings, a lot of hair-winged flies, and you'll get better and better, and you'll realize your pinch gets tighter, where your hair goes stays, and all that good stuff. And that's kind of the point of tying. So a little shuck there to grab their attention, let them know this bug is vulnerable. Dubbed body, no hackle, so that sits in that film, not on top, but in that film. And then plenty of hair to still support that slightly soggy body. And there you have it, the X Caddis. Tie a pile of them. Fish love them, and they are fun to tie. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you would, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will see you all on the water.